Welcome to a very brisk November day here in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're here at Pinewood Studios, the place that Marvel have set up camp for their latest epic adventure. They've leveled cities in the Avengers, they've flung us to the far corners of the galaxy in Guardians, and now they're set to make their universe a whole lot bigger and simultaneously smaller.
Marvel Studios have given Sky Movies an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the latest entry in their burgeoning superhero empire, giving us a rare insight into the movie magic that has kept fans constantly clamouring for more of their unique brand of comic book cinema. And Ant-Man looks set to continue that tradition whilst promising to be unlike anything we've ever seen before.
At the start, he's getting out of prison and ready to get on with his life and try and reconnect with his daughter, who he hasn't seen in a few years. Scott winds up kind of resorting to his thieving ways. Come to learn that it's all kind of being orchestrated by a guy named Hank Pym.
Hank Pym is a brilliant, if I do say so, scientist who has developed a serum. This serum allows a human being to reduce to the size of an ant, just like that.
Well, Hank Pym had created this thing, the Pym particle, which is what powers the Ant-Man suit and allows you to shrink. And it's a much sought-after technology that he's hidden away over the years. His former protege, Darren Cross, is on the cusp of actually having the breakthrough of replicating that formula, but he's going to weaponize it.
You tried to hide your suit from me. Now, it's gonna blow up in your face.
Hank can't allow it to get out, so he wants to pull off this heist, a very elaborate heist, into his old company, Pymtech, to steal the technology back.
My days of breaking into places and stealing stuff are over. What do you want me to do?
I want you to break into a place and steal some stuff. I need you to be the Ant-Man.
If there's one thing every superhero needs, it's a cool costume to fight crime in, and Ant-Man is no exception.
I think it's such a cool suit. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, that's a really cool looking suit, and the helmet was awesome. It took 20 minutes just to get in and get wired and bolted in, and it was surprisingly much more comfortable than you might think.
I think it's the best suit in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The cool thing about it, it feels like it's a relic from another era. It's leather and there's scuffs and dents on the suit, and it really sort of implies this whole history that the Hank Pym version of Ant-Man had. So there's real history to it. It's also one thing to design a suit like that on the page and make it beautiful. But what Sammy and Ivo did was, I can kind of not even comprehend it.
With that in mind, I decided my first port of call should be the costume department, where designer Sammy Sheldon and head speciality costume creator Ivo Coveney showed me just how much work goes into making a superhero look the part.
Guys, first of all, thank you. This is rather wonderful. Tell me first of all about the concept of the Ant-Man suit and where that comes from.
Okay, well, we're given a design that we have to kind of keep to in our creation, and from design we then look into, first of all, what we're going to make the main suit out of.
Is it easier or more difficult, the fact that you're already being handed something that they want you to then create, as opposed to sort of working from the ground up?
It's different. It's just, I think, regardless of whether, you know, the idea's already there or you're creating it, you still have to make it into 3D. So, you know, it's still got to work on someone's body. So, I mean, it's fun. It's, you know, it's great to have that input and know that it fits into the world that we have.
So one of these is a stunt suit. Remind me which, because I think that's the point, isn't it? The fact that I can't tell looking at them which is actually the actor's suit.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because this is all soft here, so that there's...
Yeah, we turn around on the back. This piece here is all interconnected and pivoted.
So this is a mechanical piece.
Yeah.
So this is for a shot of a Paul Rudd in his suit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then this one is for Colin.
It's totally foam.
Which
So the stuntman can do rolls and everything.
And it won't break, but also it won't injure him inside. So it has two parts to that.
In the right hands, the relationship between man and suit is symbiotic. The suit has power. The man harnesses that power. You need to be skillful, agile, and above all, you need to be fast. You should be able to shrink and grow on a dime, so your size always suits your needs. Now dive through the keyhole, Scott. You charge big, you dive small, then you emerge big.
So let's talk about these Ant-Man helmets. First of all, there's a lot. There's a lot. Why are there so many helmets?
We have actually made 17 different helmets for this show because, as you can see, I've got a variety of different poses I have to do. This is the open helmet here where whenever Paul's talking, and that's the helmet that looks closer to the original Ant-Man comics. So we try to make sure that this is the one you see most of the time, which is when it's closed, fully closed, but we need stunt, and we need stunts with visors in and stunts with visors out for safety reasons.
Right.
And then you've got what we call the hero ones, which is the one that Paul wears most of the time.
Whichever one I try on, I'm happy to tell you this, I've got a massive head. It's a lot bigger than it looks. Does Paul Rudd have a fairly big head? I mean, because if he does, no. Right.
But it's also, even on Paul's quite small head, we have to flex it to get it on.
Okay.
So
if we're going to end up snapping an expensive
that's
piece
all right.
of...
We've got some spare at the moment.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. Right, you ready?
Yeah. See?
Is that all? There you go. See, once it gets past the point, then it's okay.
You're screwing me in.
Oh, yes.
It's obviously a little scary.
No, it's okay. It's more with the stuntmen, we don't have to do that because we need to get them out sometimes in a hurry. But there you go. So that's it there. You'll still be able to breathe with this over there, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm going to close the visor down as well now. You ready?
Yeah. Wow.
Right, now if you just tense your head slightly, I'm just going to, there you go. So your eyes, get a bit more, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Boom! I am Ant-Man. I can understand why it needs to come back. It's very difficult to emote under here, because what you can't see is I'm crying because it's so painful. It's not at all. This is great.
And then, but
how do I look?
You look great.
Honestly,
it actually fits well.
With the
hair's a nice look.
Yeah. I know you're a certain way into filming now, but if things don't work out with Mr. Rudd, I'm thinking...
You're in there.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I'm taking this back to London.
We've reached the halfway point of our behind-the-scenes look at Ant-Man, but join me after the break when I'll be sitting down with Paul Rudd and director Peyton Reed to delve even deeper into the secrets behind Marvel's miniature hero. But don't just take my word for it.
It's just real behind-the-scenes stuff.
See you soon. When it comes to comic book adaptations, we've grown accustomed to Marvel delivering superhero spectacle on an epic scale. But this time, they're bringing us something much, much smaller.
And cut it!
And I've come to the set of Ant-Man in Atlanta, Georgia, to discover how Marvel are aiming to raise the bar yet again. So far, I've learnt that I actually look pretty good as the mighty Ant-Man, and after snooping around, I've managed to wrap my brain around the complex science involved in shrinking superheroes. A bit.
Thing goes here, shrinks. There's more science to it than that, but that's basically roughly how I think it happens.
The world sure seems different from down here, doesn't it, Scott?
Wait, who said that?
It's a trial by fire, Scott. Or in this case, water. tougher than you thought.
Now it's time to meet the man who's filling Ant-Man's tiny shoes, and I know just where to find him.
So, I've just taken a short ride in Ant-Man's own van to arrive here on the working set of the film, where currently Paul Rudd is shooting a scene inside that house owned in the film by his wife, played by Judy Greer, and all being well, we're going to get to speak to them. Come on.
I managed to grab Paul Rudd in between takes to try and get him to spill some juicy secrets on Ant-Man, even if that meant putting myself in Marvel's sights. Literally.
I started asking some sort of slightly more in-depth questions to Judy a minute ago, and a red dot appeared on my face from a sniper.
Yeah, and that was Kevin Feige. People don't know this about this. He's actually a very accomplished sniper.
And whilst he enjoyed a break from filming, it seems director Peyton Reed's job is never over.
Captain America was the last Marvel origin story of a hero, a stand-up.
Yeah.
Are we trying to see the paint table on the foreground of the ant camp POV?
We are, yes. This is real behind-the-scenes stuff. Yes.
Okay.
So the camera should be on a 14mm lens aimed at Paul Rudd, but with the paint table in the foreground.
And are the girls in the foreground that we're painting or no?
Yeah, at least you want to see their hands and the brushes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Imagine a soldier the size of an insect.
So where are we? What are you up to?
So we're day 66 of our shoot. We only have about 2 more weeks of principal photography, and it's going really well. So we're in downtown Atlanta today. We're shooting in a neighborhood, and it's a scene where Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, is coming to pay a visit to his ex-wife and daughter.
This is your chance to earn that look in your daughter's eyes.
It's one of the interesting things about Ant-Man because he, I think, is the only superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe who's a parent. You know, he starts out the movie, he's just gotten out of prison, and so he's trying to make all these amends in his life, and he's sort of trying to find redemption.
Second chances don't come around all that often. I suggest you take a really close look at it.
It's been a blast. It's been a unique and wild ride for sure. There's real comfort and excitement working on something like this, knowing that Marvel is behind it and that they want to make it unique and interesting.
When you're small, you have superhuman strength.
I mean, I'm only here because of Edgar Wright, who was originally directing the movie. He's the guy who hired me. He's the guy who brought me into the whole thing. He's the reason I'm even here, so I'm indebted to him greatly. I was really excited about working with him. When Marvel and Edgar parted ways, I was pretty bummed out about it. It was really, I think, just truly a kind of a clashing of styles, and I think all parties realized it early on, and maybe not as early on as everyone would have liked it to have been. But separate from that, the actual role and the material and the adventure of it all was really appealing. It was different than anything that I'd ever done. After Edgar left the project, we really lucked out by getting Peyton on board because he's such a great director, a great guy, loves the material. He knew about Ant-Man. He's a comic book fanatic.
It's not about saving our world. It's about saving theirs.
You know, as a kid, Ant-Man really was one of my favorites. So to sort of be the guy to bring that character to the Marvel Universe has been great.
I hope you don't mind. Earlier I was at Pinewood and I tried on some of your costumes.
Oh, yeah?
And not the full suit, just the
helmet.
The helmet.
What'd you think?
I loved it. I mean, the transformation internally, the minute I put it on, I'm like...
That same thing happened to me, that first fitting that we had when I put the whole thing on. You stand differently, you feel different, and then the helmet was, it was crazy.
Scott, I need you to be the Ant-Man.
Huh. One of the things that's also, I think, very fun about this is that I think even the people that exist in the movie, in the world, as these characters, recognize the fact that Ant-Man doesn't have some of this, the built-in machismo that Iron Man has.
When you're small, energy's compressed, so you have the force of a 200-pound man behind a fist 1/100th of an inch wide. You're like a bullet. You punch too hard, you kill someone. Too soft, it's a love tap. In other words, you have to know how to punch.
I was in prison for 3 years. I know how to punch.
Show me. Terrible.
You want to show me how to punch? Show me.
That's how you punch.
The training aspect, some of the action stuff and the things that I've had to do to get ready for it, that's different. I hadn't really done that before. And that's been fun and challenging and exhausting at times and a bummer at times because, you know, I haven't had a carbohydrate in a year. I mean, it's kind of a drag.
That sucks when they lay on such good craft services. I just went over there and I mean, it was.
Oh yeah. Was it good?
It was. A lot of carbs, though. I mean, I had pasta and rice in the same bowl.
Oh, yeah, I've had a few raw almonds. That's what I've gotten from craft service.
Ant-Man's powers are potentially the most silly powers of any Marvel character. You could look at that thing and say, well, how is that going to be cool? That's ridiculous. But the movie absolutely answers that question.
These are your greatest allies.
You're kind of cute. Whoa. I shrink. Oh, and I can also talk to ants. And there's nothing sexy about that. There's nothing cool sounding about any of that. When I told my son, who was 9, I was very excited. I got a part in this movie. I said, guess what? I'm gonna play a superhero. And he's 9. I was like, that's the target. You know, that's the coolest. And he said, who are you going to play? And I said, Ant-Man. And he said, what? Ant-Man? And I said, uh-huh. And he said, well, I can't wait to see how stupid that'll be. I was 9.
One question. Is it too late to change the name?
And with that, my time here on the set of Ant-Man in Atlanta, Georgia is done. I'm heading back to the airport and very kindly, Paul Rudd has lent me Ant-Man's van to drive back in. Now, where did I put the keys? Oh, there they are. Bye-bye.
That's officially it. That is the end, the wrap on principal photography for Ant-Man. Thank you all.
Looking back on the movie, it was really fun to make. I mean, it happened so quickly and it gave us all this sort of energy that it was a really collaborative thing. You know, the actors, we all worked really heavily to continue working on the script and it was fun, which was kind of counterintuitive to me because it's a huge movie. It's a huge, small movie.
My best memory on the picture was if I had a break from shooting, I would go, there were 4 units filming. So I would go down to another stage, to the second unit, and that's where the stuntmen were working. Or you go across the street to another stage, the third unit, and that's where the special effects, where all the green screen stuff was going on. And then finally, the fourth was the macro, the ants' perspective, which was incredible. When you see the movie, it just is amazing. And I think for me, that was the most satisfying experience, is understanding how this company puts together all these units together. And then they end up with a product they've got now.
When I look back on this one, I will look back to how long the entire process was and the focus that I had with it. I think I worked harder on this than anything that I've ever done. And I loved making it. But it wasn't like, oh, I popped in and did a movie for a few months, which is often the case. This was 2 years. And I found it incredibly rewarding.